Welcome to episode 7 of Frank on Fire. Today we're heading up to Boise, Idaho to meet the Hill family. Also want to let you know that we're moving up in the world. Frank on Fire now has a corporate sponsor, Shop Sprawl. The link is in the comment section below. Be sure you check it out after you watch this video. Heading up to Boise, let's meet the
Aaron,
Hills.
if you don't mind, kind of take it away and introduce who we're going to be talking to today and tell us about your family.
Awesome. Thanks, Frank. This is my wife here, Christine. And Christine and I have been married 33 years. We have 5 children and 1 grandchild. And that 1 grandchild is sitting on her lap, Huxley. We'll see how he does during all of this. But Huxley's about 1.5 years. And then on the far left here is Taylor, our oldest daughter. She's our middle child. And then on the right here, this is Paris, our middle daughter and our 4th child. We have 3 kids that aren't here. Our oldest son, Brooke, who lives in Boise here, and then Huxley's dad, his name is Skylar. He's at work, but will be coming home soon to pick up Huxley. And then our youngest daughter, Haley, is not here as well. She's on a church service mission. Was in Uruguay when COVID hit. They brought her back to the States, and she's in Atlanta, Georgia right now. So this is the group. We've got, well, actually, and kind of interesting, we were empty nesters. As of January, we didn't have anybody in the home. And then when COVID hit, we got a daughter that was in Uruguay, came back from there. Paris, who was in Paris, France at the time, she ended up coming back early from there. And then Taylor, she was on a cruise and living in Utah and doing some schooling, and she ended up, because it all went online and everything changed there, she ended up coming back from her cruise and moving back in. So we went from nobody in the house to about 5 or 6 in the house. It's been kind of crazy, but awesome.
Well, it looks like you have a beautiful family, a great crew here. And Darren, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about yourself as far as how long you've been with Actelion, what's your role, maybe where you went to school, what you studied, that kind of thing.
I joined Actelion in 2011, and I actually at that time was sitting not on this couch, but pretty much right in this spot, and I got a phone call from Travis Jensen, who I used to work with at Pfizer, and Travis asked me what I was doing, and I said, I'm watching TV. And he says, no, what are you doing for work? And at the time, I was actually unemployed, and he said, we're opening up a territory for Actelion in Boise, and you ought to get your resume in. So Travis helped me initially get into Actelion and joined them in 2011. So it'll be 10 years this next February. So I'm between 9 and 10 years there.
Wow.
And I went to school at BYU and graduated a long time ago. We moved to Boise. I met my wife in the summertime. I was doing door-to-door sales in California. That's where she was. We met each other and ended up getting married. She came back, helped put me through the rest of my schooling. We got my first job out of school in 1989 here in Boise, and we've pretty much been in Boise ever since.
It's a great story. Darren, thanks so much for sharing that. So grateful to have I get to be a part of your team. It is a blessing working with you. And Christine, if you don't mind, tell us about Darren. It sounds like he knocked on your door. He's trying to sell you pots and pans. What's the story there? How'd you guys meet?
No, we were just, we met through mutual friends at church, and we would just end up hanging out and going dancing and going to concerts, and we just ended up being really good friends and talking a lot. And so then we just decided to start dating, and we just never stopped dating. And about 6 or 7 months later, we got married. He proposed at a lighthouse near Santa Cruz, and it's been fun going back there and showing the kids where he proposed, and it was very romantic. And then we moved to Southern California and worked for the summer, and then went on to school.
What a great story. 33 years together. That is, congratulations. That is,
Thanks.
Yeah, a fun story. But I do have a little bit of a follow-up question here. So dancing, what kind of dancing?
Well, if you know Darren, he only does one kind of dancing, and it's pretty much the same kind of dancing that he did then.
I
All
live
right.
in the live in the 80s, and I need a lot of elbow room.
What's something that we might not know about Darren? Those of us that don't get to see him, other than at work, you've spent most of your life with him. What's something you would think we don't know about him?
Darren knows almost all the words to every song that is on the radio.
Okay.
And he just does. If you are in a car with him for any length of time, you will have a personal concert.
He knows first wave radio.
Yeah, first wave radio, Sirius XM. He knows all the songs.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's his favorite. Yeah.
Paris, let's talk to you a little bit. So, if you don't mind, Paris, tell us a little bit about yourself. How old you are, kind of what's going on with your life. Before COVID kind of interrupted all of us. What were you doing?
Before COVID hit, I've been living at my parents for a while. I'm just in Boise and having jobs. And then I was in Paris, France from February I was there for 2 months, and I was supposed to be there for 3 months with a friend of mine, but things kind of happened there during the pandemic, and so I had to come home early, and then I've just been home since. And I resell vintage clothing online, so I have a little shop I run, and then I also do embroidery.
All right, if you don't mind, tell me a little bit about that embroidery. So what's involved with that? What do you do?
So I learned it when I worked at a vintage shop in Boise, and I would do things for that shop, and I just really fell in love with it. And so when I stopped working at that shop, my grandma was really nice and ended up buying me a machine. And you use it with your hand. It's not computer programmed, so it's like you're drawing on a piece of fabric. And so I really liked it, and so I started to just buy vintage pieces that I loved, and then designing things on that, and then reselling it online. So that's what I'm most passionate about, is vintage clothing.
She's
Awesome.
really talented. Give a plug. They can go. What site can they go to see some of your work? Go on. Tell them where they can go to see some of your work.
Well, I sell on multiple platforms.
Well, give them one.
Most of my stuff is on Depop, and my shop name is just called Shop Sprawl. And then I sell my embroidery pieces on Etsy, and I believe it's just under the same name, which is Shop Sprawl. So yeah.
Thanks so much for telling me. And when you think about your life with the family, if you don't mind, tell us about what was your favorite family vacation you've been on? Where'd you go?
I think one of my favorite family vacations was when it was just my two sisters, and then my mom and dad came and visited me when I was an exchange student in Belgium, and they had never been to Europe before. Well, at least had you guys?
We've been to.
Well, yeah.
Oh. Well, my sisters hadn't, and they'd never been to Belgium, and so they came and visited me, and they got to see my host parents, and they kind of got to see me speak a little French to them too, which was probably interesting for them because I didn't know French before I went there.
Okay.
And then we went to Paris, and so it was just kind of a fun experience. I got to show them around. I felt like it was kind of my city, and I was able to show them the places that I liked. So that was probably one of my favorite vacations.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. And to say something to me in French.
Ok, alors je m'appelle Patrice, j'ai 22 ans, et ça c'est mon famille, ça c'est mon père, et ça c'est mon mère, et ma sœur, et je t'aime mon famille.
Oui, all right. Very impressive. Thank you for sharing that. Sounds like you had a lot of fun experiences. And Taylor, let's go ahead and round things out with you. Taylor, if you don't mind, tell us about yourself, kind of, what is your tale? Tell us your story, Taylor.
So I went to school at BYU in Rexburg, and then I went on a mission for a year and a half in Washington. And then I just got back during Christmas time, and I moved to Utah and got certified to teach yoga. And then because of COVID, I decided to quarantine with my family. So I've just been in Boise for a few months. But yeah, I'll be moving back to Utah pretty soon.
Very good. So yoga is a serious passion of mine, as you can tell. I'm a yogi. What is your favorite pose?
Shavasana.
All right.
Shavasana, the ending pose, you lay on the ground.
Favorite thing about your dad?
My favorite thing about my dad is he is really positive. He doesn't get mad very often.
That is a good trait. All right. So appreciate you guys all being here. Huxley, I was going to ask him some questions, but he looks like he's having a good time with Grandma. Just kind of hanging out there. Can you say hi? You see me, buddy?
Hello.
Wait.
Yeah.
You say bye-bye?
Say bye-bye.
All right. So just one last question for the whole group. With COVID, we're all stuck at home, right? Is there any tips that you guys have on how you've remained so positive and stuck together and keep some sanity? Do you have any tips that you could share?
What was the question?
About COVID, but just trying
Just
to keep
being
your sanity.
positive?
About COVID, what made us to keep our sanity during COVID? I think one of the things, we just tried to have fun. We just tried to have a little bit of fun about a lot of different things. One of the things we do a lot is head up to the lake. We have a boat. The summertime, we spend a lot of time on the water, and it's still an area where we can kind of still stay self-quarantined as a family, but have a good time. We've done a lot of travel adventures where we haven't left the home, but we've traveled to some tropical places, and we've had some throwback Thursday meals where we go back and have meals that we used to have when the kids were little, like ramens and instant mashed potatoes. And anyway, it's been kind of fun for me, but I don't know what they'd have to say.
Anybody else?
Fun.
Okay.
It's definitely given me more time to focus on like little hobbies that I like. So even though I'm not working a full-time job like I normally would, it's kind of giving me time to slow down and think about things that I want to do in my life. So it's been a little bit relaxing for me, at least. I've
Okay.
enjoyed that.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's been awesome having the kids here. It's I think probably we won't get a time like this again in the future where we're all together in one spot, and whether we drive each other crazy or not, it's still awesome able to have time together.
Awesome.
Yeah, we've done a lot of fun.
Well, Hill family, thank you so much. Thanks for taking time to join us today on Frank on Fire. And you guys stay safe, have fun. And Huxley, you say bye-bye? Bye-bye.
Guys, thanks for joining us for episode 7. Again, thanks to our sponsor, Shop Sprawl. Guys, have a great week. Stay safe out there. Be kind.